The three biggest takeaways from Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I'm still in disbelief.
Alright, so this is going to be the full breakdown video, the whole 10 minutes, so, stay tuned, guys. No hate towards the original creator, but yeah, so, let's get into it.
Number one, what the fuck did we just watch? I'm speaking directly to Netflix's 280 million worldwide subscribers. Were any one of you entertained by this? Was there a single moment in this fight where Jake Paul was in any form of trouble? The only punch Tyson landed was the slap yesterday. I mean, Mike looked old as hell. He was not throwing back. Said it was a tick he's done in many of his past fights, but I don't know if he's ever done it as much as he did tonight. The commentary even said, why isn't Jake teeing off on him right now? Because a lot of people don't want it to happen. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see a 58-year-old man get hurt, but this is a fight. They should have at least told us it was going to be a glorified sparring session. I want a refund. Oh, wait, it's free. I want my 45 minutes back.
Alright, so, as someone who was watching the fight through Netflix, I gotta admit, yes, the fight was kind of lackluster. I will admit that, and I've stated that in my previous videos. One thing I was very impressed about was Mike Tyson being at the age that he is, and he's no longer in his prime. He put up the fight that he did. Like, he went the whole 8 rounds, the whole 8 rounds in 2 minutes. He threw some punches. Jake threw some punches. He was able to, bob and weave some stuff. And yeah, like Mike Tyson, he gave it his best for the age that he's at. And a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people are not giving him credits for that. The reason why, what was it? When the announcers were talking about Mike Tyson biting his glove and they didn't know why. And Mike Tyson, he stated that after the end of the fight he did that was because he had a tendency to bite people. Well, he has a biting tendency. And my one best friend who's a fighter, he said that was probably Mike Tyson did that to, keep him focused. So Mike Tyson most likely did that so that way he doesn't get too angry, if that makes sense. And he was kind of doing that to control himself. Because would you rather him, bite bite his glove or bite a limb or bite an ear off of Jake Paul? I mean, probably a lot of people would want the latter, but nah, he was doing that just so he can, self-control. Yeah. But yeah, of course there was no bending of the knees because, again, Mike Tyson is old, and there was clearly some issues with, with his legs. You could see it throughout the fight. But still, even with the health issue, a few months back, and then the apparent leg issues too, he was still weaving, dodging, blocking, throwing punches, despite his age and despite the restrictions he had, he still did the best that he could. Alright, let's move on to the next one.
Number 2, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano did it again. When hundreds of millions of Netflix eyeballs were on them, they gave us another instant classic. Now, I loved the action as much as we all did.
Alright, so I didn't want to play the whole thing, but this one I am in agreement with him on. He talks about the one fight where... Now, I'm not good at fighters' names, but the fight with the 2 females where the one had illegal headbutts, and a lot of people talk about the headbutts that she was giving. Now, I will admit, yes, both of those women absolutely gave a wonderful performance. It was amazing. I was mostly interested in Jake versus Mike, but I couldn't help but watch that fight too, because again, it was just so interesting. I will admit, that fight, that definitely was some wrongful decisions and some points mixed up with, I don't know. I don't know the boxing lingo. But I do agree with the headbutt situation, as well as, again, both women gave a wonderful performance, despite the headbutt issue.
What did we think of the Netflix production? I thought for their first big live sporting event, it wasn't that bad. I thought Ariel Helwani did a great job. Shout out to Dan Canobio for his DraftKings segments. Now, as for the streaming issues, I had a little issue before the Taylor Serrano fight. Also, right before the main event, it said Envoy Overload. I've never seen that before. And my whole computer kind of froze right when they showed Mike Tyson's butt cheeks. I'm just kidding. If it did, that would have been traumatizing. But again, what did you guys think of the Netflix production?
All right, this one we're definitely in agreement with. When it comes to this being and my previous video, I didn't know if they had a live event, but this definitely answers my question. So yeah, we're both in agreement. This being Netflix's first ever live event, it actually went very well. Minus again the connection issues, but again, it's Netflix's first live event ever. Of course, you're gonna have some technical issues because this is the first time they've ever done that. Hopefully later on they will fix the problem for future events. But yeah, the event was good. Again, connection issues or like streaming issues for people watching at home. But that is to happen when you are hosting your first ever live event and you have millions upon millions. Sorry, I had to make that rock reference. Watching the event from at home.
Sip of Gatorade and give this card a grade. Gets a B. The featured fight was good. The co-main event was awesome. The main event, ass. But the spectacle of the whole thing, the huge Dallas Cowboys stadium, the guests they brought on for commentary, gives it a...
All right, so I don't have that Gator, whatever you said. I got coffee. And I believe we are somewhat in agreement when it comes to the grading performance. Well, you give it a B. I usually rate my things out of 1 out of 10. In previous videos and even in this one, I will give it a 8.5. Again, just the setup for it was amazing. Again, there was the connection issues, but it's the first live event, so that is to happen whenever you have doing something for the first time. There's going to be issues. The fights prior to the main event was good. The main event, I wouldn't say was ass. I mean, lackluster, yes, but then when you look at it after the nostalgic, you're like, okay, it makes sense. You have someone who is retired and at an old age versus someone who's young, and then when you look at it, you see, this is Mike Tyson at an old age, and he's going up against a youngster. And he proves that he can go 8 rounds with a youngster. Yes, it was 2 minutes each round, but he still gave it his best, and he didn't get knocked out. He didn't knock out Jake Paul. Jake Paul didn't knock out him. They gave it their best. But performance-wise, setting-wise, like what they did, everything was good. Again, that 8.5, they earned that shit. Hopefully for future live events, they do work on the connection issues. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to be very upset. But that is my take on it. Go check out the original content creator. He actually did a phenomenal job. There's a lot more stuff that I didn't put in this video, so I highly recommend go checking it out. And with that out of the way, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.